Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we will solve problem 35 in DeepML, which is convert vector to diagonal matrix. So what we're given here is a vector, an NumPy array, and what we have to do is transform them into a matrix. So instead of being an element of a vector of one row and three columns, what we're going to have here is a 3 by 3 matrix where each element in the diagonal corresponds to one element in the vector. So I'm not going to talk about the theoretical framework of why it is that we're doing this. Just to put it succinctly, there's certain cases in which you want to do a certain type of operations with a vector. And so in order to do a matrix multiplication and have the dimensions you want, you have to transform it into a matrix. Sometimes it's more efficient. If you're going to have a matrix with this structure, it's more efficient to store it like this and then just transform it into a matrix whenever it is that you'd want to do an operation with it. So that's the gist of it. As you can see now, the code is very simple. I'm going to do it slightly different from the official solution, just so you know another way of doing it. So, and as always, this video is tailored towards beginners, so that's why it may not be the most efficient way, but I think it's very intuitive. So in NumPy, we're going to use NumPy this time. In NumPy, there's this function which is called I. And what this function does is it generates an identity matrix of a certain size. So in this case, let's call the length of this vector. And we're going to generate an identity matrix of length n. So in this case, we're generating an identity matrix of that's 3 by 3. And so instead of having 1, 2, and 3 in the diagonal, we're going to have 1, 1, and 1. That's what we have so far. Now, in order to populate the diagonal, we're going to do it with our trusty friend, the for loop. And so what we have to say is, well, which are the elements of the diagonal? The elements of the diagonal are those elements where the number of the row equals the number of the column. So as you can see here, 0, 0, that's 1, 1 and 1, that's 2, 2 and 2, that's 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to overwrite the elements in those positions, and we're going to change them. We're going to evaluate them to the corresponding position in the vector. So as you can see, you look here at the first element in the diagonal, you grab this element from the vector, second element from the vector, and then third element from the vector. And after we iterate on our for loop, we're just going to return this modified matrix that we run here. And so we're going to run the code. And we wait a little bit and we pass all the test cases. So as you can see, this is a very straightforward way of doing it. Now, it's not the most efficient. If you have a very, very large matrix, doing a for loop like this may not be the fastest way of doing it. I think the solution is very self-explanatory, but I wanted to show you a different way of doing it, especially for those of you who are just starting out. Hope you enjoyed this video and see you on the next one.